Hey you! You wanna hop in a boat, row up to a mysterious jungle island, get lost, and dig into a little TikTok gamer drama? You do. Well, you're in luck. I just so happen to have found a game that covers all of those bases. Now, I'm gonna be real with you guys. Normally my thing is to deliberately seek out bad games to make fun of them. This game is really poorly reviewed on Steam, but I don't hate it. It's also a lot more serious in tone and very narrative driven, which is not something I'm used to trying to talk about, so... But I did want to talk about it because the review debacle is kind of interesting. Well, anyway, we'll see how it goes. You let me know if this is terrible or not. The game starts off 35 years after the incident. Some dude named Jeremy is sitting in front of a camera recalling a terrible event.
When I saw him in his condition, I knew that he was not able to escape on his own. It was cold, dark, deafening, and we were both soaked from the rain. Although I couldn't think clearly either. He was clearly in worse shape and hung upside down on a rope much longer than I did. He was covered with flesh wounds, smeared with blood. His pain must be enormous.
And then we're dangling upside down over a pool of our own blood. We're clearly being shown what Jeremy was just describing to the camera. And, just like he said, things really aren't looking too hot for our guy Ethan.
Ethan, you've got to hold on. I will save you, Jeremy.
It quickly becomes apparent that whoever tied us up is now looking for us. We make a break for it, but Ethan knows he won't be able to outrun anyone in his current condition, and ultimately makes the choice to sacrifice himself as a distraction to make sure that Jeremy can escape.
What he had to experience was painful and unimaginable cruel. I think he already suspected it, and still, he persevered and made sure that nothing happened to me.
Jeremy then explains that he and Ethan were there on the island as part of an expedition team. The team was supposed to be gathering resources and materials from this previously untrodden land. We see the crew pulling up to the island for the very first time. Jeremy and the squad adventure for a bit, excited by the prospect of being some of the first humans to ever see this island. As they explore, they begin to get more and more suspicious that they are perhaps not, in fact, the first people ever to be on this island, when stuff like archways and statues start popping up. However, all of it is in complete disrepair and just appears to be some ruins. Obviously, whoever would have made this is long gone by now. The group gets ambushed by some wolves, and it is here that we find out that Jeremy breathes really hard anytime anything happens. Like, really hard. Dude's lungs are fighting for his life, just casually walking around because we saw some wolves 10 minutes ago. Then we find some haphazardly placed boards that I guess could loosely be interpreted as a bridge, and this guy for some reason says this.
The way that thing looks, it could be like 100 years old, and I am not going to cross it. And neither are you, Jeremy.
Jeremy disregards that statement harder than humanity disregards Season 8 of Game of Thrones. The little planky snaps and Jeremy falls, conking his noggin on a big ol' rock. Now, separated from the group, Jeremy needs to figure out how to get his way back to them. He makes his way through a cave, where he hears an absolutely blood-curdling scream. His response?
Hello? Who is this?
Yep, that's what I would say. Jeremy stumbles around in the darkness, and eventually he finds a guy named Henry, but...
Oh my God!
Henry!
Godspeed, Henry. Upon making it back to the outside, Jeremy finds himself with his own monsters to deal with. I just hid inside this little hut and stabbed them until they died. Throughout the game, you find little artifacts that give you some information and lore about what's going on. This one just so happens to bring up Jeremy's struggle to control his labored breathing, which I find hilarious. Jeremy sees a guy impaled from like 9 billion feet away and somehow recognizes who it is. Jeremy is shooketh and immediately assumes that a human did this. Wait, what? Why? We've established several times that no one on this pioneering team thinks that there are humans here. Jeremy barely even believes that an ancient civilization could have ever even been on this island. Now he's jumping straight to that the human island inhabitant must have murdered his friend. Ah, well, whatever. We have a gun now.
Wolves! Again?
Very kind of that wolf to wait until I picked up a gun to attack me. I appreciate it. Haha, look how he died.
For heaven's sake! Elephants?
I, really wasn't expecting an elephant death in this game, but here we are. In fact, the entire next segment revolves around elephants and doing puzzles and stuff while not getting smushed by the elephants. It's kind of a pain in the ass sometimes. And also, a lot of this area just lost a gazillion frames and looked real bad. I don't know why. This game kind of has performance issues sometimes. I'm running this on a 4070, so, yeah. At some point, you run across these dried weeds in the elephant puzzle area, and I tried to pull out my lighter and light them on fire. I tried to push them out of the way, but the game just keeps insisting that these weeds are in your way, and you need to do something about it. So, you know, what do you think the solution is? The solution is you have to light them on fire. But not with your lighter, no. You have to go all the way back across the stampeding elephants into the darkest fucking room in the game where you're just supposed to notice this shitty torch on the wall. Then you can light the weeds on fire. I cannot express to you the amount of rage that filled me that I couldn't just climb over this super climbable wall or just fucking walk through the weeds. And I got kind of stuck for a second and I couldn't figure out how to open this gate. The solution is you have to shoot an elephant so that it charges you into the gate and then you're just fine for some reason even though you're standing there. I don't know how that didn't kill me.
Nice work, big buddy.
Now it's time for the worst, most frustrating part of this game. I do not get mad at video games. This game made my blood pressure rise. It made me question my life choices, and I So in this part of the game, you get ambushed by about 8 billion wolves. Your gun shoots one bullet, and then you have to reload it. The wolves kill you in like 4 or 5 bites max. It's frustrating. But on top of that...
I have better chances if I run.
Did you hear that? Did you hear the game tell you that you have better chances if you run? That implied to me that maybe you're not supposed to be able to fight all of these wolves at the same time because it's really annoying to do so. So then I was like, oh, okay, well, the game just told me to run after I died. So, well, let's just run away from the wolves. And then I spent an unreasonable amount of time trying to figure out where you could run to. Turns out, no, actually, you don't have a better chance if you run. I don't know why the game said that. You do have to kill every single goddamn wolf in this whole area. Thankfully for me, I found out the wolves are kind of dumb and I stood on this rock a little bit and that made them very confused and I could just pick them off one by one. If you're not standing on this rock, they just, my God, do they just keep coming. And then there's a big old monster boss, because apparently the 10 minutes of never-ending wolves wasn't good enough. I know what you're thinking. Bah, that doesn't seem that bad. This game is free. Go download it right now. Try out the combat for a minute. Get back to me and tell me that that was fun and not terrible. And that you feel like you didn't waste your life doing that. You go on. After all that, there's a really just bad backtracking. Get the lever. Go put the lever in the slot. Burn more weeds. Open the gate. Swim really slowly through all this stupid water for some reason. It's not a good segment. And blah, blah, blah. Some more stuff happens. We do some more Oh my God. There are people on this island.
Jeremy.
We are introduced to the character Taisha. She proves to us that she's friendly by holding up Ethan's watch. We do a big old pushy rune puzzle thing for a while. We go through a gate and we knock our noggins on a big old rock for the second time in this game. And gasp! We are caught and strung upside down. Thankfully, Taisha unties us, and after some stealth stuff, we find Ethan, which brings us to the point where we're officially caught up with what Jeremy has been telling the camera. We watch Ethan's death again in a way more dramatic way, and except this time, obviously, from Jeremy's perspective.
Jeremy! Run for your life! Save yourself! Ethan! Ethan! I'm sorry. I need to go.
Next up, we have a bog segment, where you go really slowly through the bog water with your hands over your heads. But there is a pretty cool monster boss thing in this area. I actually liked it. I mean, look at this thing. This thing's actually kind of cool. The Lovecraftian horror chases you around until you find enough levers to do the thingy in the middle, which opens a gate, and then you can leave. Jeremy passes out for some reason, and then Taisha comes and saves us yet again. That's like her only hobby, apparently. She shows us how to stealth around the monsters and makes it very clear that her and her people that live on this island are really familiar with having to deal with them. It is also very heavily implied that the ruins in the beginning of the game are abandoned due to these beasties. After a bit more exploring with Taisha, we get ambushed by monsters, which is where one of our fellow expedition guys helps us. Both of these characters are genuinely nice and super helpful. They're cool. Once the three fight their way through the huge wave of monsters, Brian tells us that the beach isn't far off, and we should be able to make it back to the boats and leave this godforsaken island. Spoiler alert, I'm gonna go ahead and show pretty much all of the entire final cutscene, so if you want to experience this for yourself, go ahead and skip. I'll put a timestamp up or something. But I just want to show it because, my God, does a lot happen.
Have you seen Ethan? He got lost in the woods.
Ethan? Ethan is dead. He died so that I could escape.
He'll live on in our memory.
Jacob, there is something I have to tell you. Taisha saved my life. And came to the
Jeremy,
beach
watch
with me.
out! Behind you!
Jacob, no, stop! Stop!
whining about now? That was just one of those natives.
I don't understand it either. They should only shop and pay for what they've done to our people.
Exactly. It won't take long anyway before we roll over this island with our military.
It's our fault. It's all our fault. Ethan died because of us. We are the intruders. It is all our fault. Every death on this island. The bloodshed must stop. No one may find out about this island. All now. Don't do something stupid.
What the hell are you doing, Jeremy?
Why have you done this?
When I got to the beach, one of those monsters killed everyone. Everyone. Except me. I was the only one who survived. Nobody has set foot on this island since then. And it has to stay that way.
Oh. Was it really like that, Jeremy?
I told you a lot happened. I have several questions. I've prepared a list. Number 1. What? Why would he just run up ahead without Taisha like that? I don't understand. I feel like that shot was very avoidable. Number 2. Why didn't Jeremy kill Brian? He definitely knew he was still around. They had literally just talked about going to the same beach like 5 minutes ago. Number 3. Why was Jeremy so surprised by Brian saying that that wasn't what happened in front of the camera? Did he not know Brian was standing there or something? Why did Brian wait 35 freaking years to say anything? If Ethan vowed never to speak of this island to anyone and literally murdered an entire team of people to make sure that no one ever found out about it, why was he talking to the camera crew about it in the first place? Why does everyone have whacked out eyebrows? How did Taisha know that Jeremy was asking for her name when they've literally never seen other people before ever? Why won't the game just tell me how much ammo I have? Why are all the monsters on this island horrible nightmare creatures and the wolves are just completely normal wolves? I need answers. Answers I doubt I'll ever get. You know, unless I'm just dumb and missed something and someone informs me in the comments, which has been known to happen. But anyway, you remember that drama I mentioned in the beginning of the video? Drama and Steam review shenanigans? Let's talk about that for a minute, shall we? If you pull this game up on Steam, you'll notice it has an overwhelmingly negative response. And I don't mean just the mostly negative thing on Steam. I mean, if you actually look at the reviews, they are brutal. Now, I played and completed it before I really looked into the reviews, and I thought to myself, yeah, some things about the game weren't great. Some of it's a little bit crusty. I even encountered a bug or two, but I mean, it wasn't that bad. People are acting like this game is Starfield.
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
Ready!
Sorry. But anyway, yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a little crusty from time to time, but overall, I genuinely had fun with it. So I was just like, well, why does everyone hate this so much? They're dunking on it so hard. And I got to reading, and I started seeing some interesting things. The TikTok guy lied. This game dookie. The guy on TikTok lied, bruh. Let's just say that my PC nearly blew up. Good game. Nice balls. TikTok guys should take all this bad review, not you. The story of how one TikToker with one video destroyed the great work of one person. I watched my friend kill a crocodile. Who or what was this mysterious TikTok man that supposedly lied? Well, I went digging and I found the video.
The free multiplayer game on Steam is on its way. Perfect for those of you who like survival games with a dash of wild adventure. Their Land, set to launch on Steam on June 6th. You and your friends will team up to explore a mysterious island that's more maze than land.
Oh no. This video on TikTok has over 2 million views and completely misrepresented the game. I actually found several smaller videos that said the same exact thing. I don't know why so many people were pushing this as like the next Rust. The game does technically have multiplayer, but it's just surviving waves of enemies, and it's not like you can actually play the game together. I don't know if I would like super advertise it as a multiplayer game, so I see where the issue comes in. But the thing that sucks is the developer is not the one that put these videos out. The developer is not the one saying these things. This game was actually made by one guy, all by himself. And it sounds like, from what I've heard, he worked on it for at least over 2 years. And, you know, honestly, for one guy working on this is pretty impressive. I'm assuming all of the anger in the review section comes from people assuming that it must have been the developer saying these things in like a false promises kind of way. And, you know, maybe they get excited for what they saw in the TikTok video and then they play the game and it's not that at all. Which really sucks because, you know, the game could use some work and improve in certain ways. But even if it never changed and it just kind of stays as is, it's fine. It engaged me. I wanted to play it all the way through to the end. Granted, it's only like a 2.5 hour game, but it's free. So yeah, you know, like I mentioned at the beginning, this is a bit different than what I normally do, but I just found this whole ordeal to be kind of interesting, to be honest with you. It's really not the dev's fault at all that he's getting review bombed. And I genuinely think that this game would probably have pretty good reviews, all things considered, if it weren't for TikTok. Damn, maybe America's right. Maybe we should ban TikTok. I'm just kidding, please don't hurt me. Anyway, my opinion of the game is that the combat is not fun. Only being able to shoot one bullet at a time when like 30 enemies are coming after you is really ungood. I understand that maybe that's how that would work in real life. I don't know anything about guns. But something's got to be done to make that combat a little bit more fun and a little bit less tedious. Like, the combat on bosses is fine because it's just one thing, but when you have to shoot a wolf and then sprint around while your gun reloads, and then shoot a wolf and sprint around while your gun reloads, blah, 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 rinse and repeat 57 times in a row, Like, it's not challenging. It's not anything. It's not fun, that's for sure. This game would be a lot better if it wasn't like 30% kiting around wolves. The exploration, on the other hand, for the most part, that felt pretty good. You really feel like you're exploring around on an island, and it's pretty fun. The puzzles were all right. I'm still a little bit mad about not being able to just light those weeds on fire with my lighter, but that's, you know, I'll get over it. The story's a little bit harder for me to say is good or bad. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's a little goofy. I guess that's pretty subjective, but that's how I felt about it. The visuals are a bit of a mixed bag as well, because some of the scenes are just beautiful and, you know, have really nice colors and lighting and look really good, and other times you have this. So to sum it up, is this game super amazing and everybody needs to play it? No, not really. I mean, if it looks interesting to you, then yeah, for sure play it, because it's worth a playthrough, especially being free. But wow, it does not deserve the reviews it got either. That it was kind of unfair. This video got way too long. I am so sorry. I'll try not to make my videos this long again, but well, this one is, so have fun.
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
Ready!